Hey contractors, this is Scott Neal here at Neal Insurance Brokers, and I want to talk to y'all about something super important, especially in today's insurance market. Audits. Guys, this is one of the biggest headaches we see when clients come to us from another agency. They say, hey, my insurance for my roofing company or my plumbing company was $3,000 and I got a audit bill for an additional $12,000, Scott. I'm not happy with my agent. Well, this video is going to teach you how to avoid those issues and those hiccups when it comes to general liability and workers' comp insurance, okay? So just so you know, as a contractor, 99% of the time, you're going to have an audit process that goes over the correct valuation to make sure insurability is appropriately displayed when you're getting insurance coverage. There's two major rating factors that go into audits. On the general liability, it's going to be your revenue, gross revenue, and it's going to be payroll, okay? That can be an either or situation. I've seen companies rate based on revenue and payroll. I've seen some just do revenue. I've seen some just do payroll, and it just depends. And so that's why it's super important. If you notify your insurance agent initially when you do an application and you're not sure, make sure you highball your numbers, okay? Because you do not want to have any surprises down the road, okay? So why does that matter? Well, if you're doing $250,000 in revenue, okay, you're gonna be rated differently than someone doing $10 million. You may say, well, why does it matter? I'm putting on roofs, or I'm plumbing, or I'm doing flooring. Well, you have more risk. You're doing a lot more work. You're doing a lot more jobs. There's a lot more potential for a claim. And that can cause an issue when it comes to insurability. That's why you gotta keep up with it. So when you do your initial application with your insurance agent, make sure you give appropriate numbers for your revenue for the projected year. So if I'm writing you in January, you go January to December. If I'm writing you in July to June the next year. So just make sure you're as up to date on your numbers as possible for revenue and then payroll. And that does include uninsured subs, okay? If you have day laborers working for you and they cause an accident, that's gonna be covered on your general liability policy most of the time, the way we write it. A lot of companies actually exclude subcontractors, but we have some carriers that can include it. And so for the sake of audits, you want to include those numbers in your payroll numbers. This is why every quarter you should contact your insurance agent with updated revenue, updated payroll. Okay, we send an email alert out to our customers to basically say, hey, it's time to do just an estimate of where you're at. Because, for example, we had a company go from $500,000 in revenue to $12 million. I'm not kidding you. And they didn't notify us, and they didn't have any changes. They just grew like crazy. Well, they got an audit bill, and they ended up paying it because they understood like that was their fault on the end. But it was a $42,000 audit. Now they're doing $12 million, and their threshold was about 1% of their insurance premium was based on revenue, and that's totally normal. 1 to 3% you should be spending on insurance costs for your general liability and other insurances, and that's just an estimate. It depends on the industry. But like I said, guys, you've got to be careful when you're shopping insurance, especially if you do it online. You're gonna lowball your numbers because lower numbers mean lower premium, but everybody's auditing, so you're gonna get a nice surprise bill. If you don't pay it, it'll go to collections. You can't get loans, you can't get an SBA loan, things like that. It's gonna be hard to get more inventory or hire staff if you're stuck in a collection notice. So just work with us. If you have any questions, we're here to support you. Go to nealinsurance.com or simply call us at 682-237-7975. We work with over 300 class codes of insurance, anything from contractors, you name it. Yeah, don't get stuck in your audits. Make sure you're doing that. And then if you have any questions on how that process works, feel free to reach out to us. Thanks.